The Gauteng Taxi Industry has joined efforts with the Provincial Department of Social Development to combat human trafficking in the province. The department held a Trafficking in Persons seminar 2 months ago, and as we are now in the festive season, we'd like to explore if there are plans put in place to deal with this issue. We're now joined via Zoom by Pearl Moabelo, who is the Director for Social Crime Prevention at the Gauteng Department of Social Development, and Mr. Godfrey Dahl, a taxi operator and member of the Greater Johannesburg Taxi Policing Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pitso on SABC Lehae. I'm going to start with Pearl. Looking at the province of Gauteng, this is the economic hub of the SADC region. Now, how prevalent is human trafficking in the province of Gauteng?
Thank you very much, Pitso, and good morning to you. Yes, indeed, human trafficking is very rife in Gauteng, as you have alluded to say that it is the economic hub. And we are seeing more and more trends of bulk rescuing of victims that are being rescued precisely, specifically for labor exploitation. However, we are also seeing the snippets in terms of the individuals that go missing and those that are coming to the economic hub seeking employment, seeking greater opportunities, and they are then subjected to the issue of human trafficking. Just yesterday, we were alerted by law enforcement in Benoni that they also have rescued the 33 Ethiopian in the area of Ekurhuleni. And just earlier this month, again, we were dealing with a case of 72 male Ethiopians that were also rescued by law enforcement. So it means Gauteng, irrespective of where in Gauteng, it's an economic hub. It's an opportunity for the traffickers to make money and make business in exploiting our people.
Now, Pearl, a UN report indicates that South Africa has been listed at Tier 2 watch list as it has been a developing country that has made strides in meeting anti-trafficking standards. Please elaborate on this. What does it mean?
Can you please repeat the question? I asked you for a second.
The UN report has indicated that South Africa has been listed at the Tier 2 watch list as it has been a developing country that has made strides in meeting anti-trafficking standards. Please elaborate on this. What does it mean?
Okay, basically, you would know that we have countries that are affiliated or signatories to the UN, and South Africa is one of them. And the UN has developed what we call the norms and standards that they are able to now measure countries that are signatory to that in terms of their responsiveness to the issue of human trafficking. But now, remember that you would have Tier 1, which basically says that the countries under Tier 1 are those organizations or countries that are able to then respond to the norms, to the intervention under the human trafficking, and you would have countries that would now fall under Tier 2. These countries are the countries that meet the standard, meet the norm, but they are not then yet to be escalated at the level of Tier 1. So meaning they have systems in place, they have policies, they have legislation, they have activations, and the willingness is also there to ensure that they are able to now respond swiftly to the issue of human trafficking. However, as a country, we have then been downgraded to Tier 2, and this is a process where in 2 years in consecutive, if the country is not able to then maintain its status, will then be downgraded to Tier 2 watch list. What that means, it means that yes, efforts are there, but it means our efforts are not coordinated. It means the integration, it is not there. It means as different stakeholders, government and entities, we are working in silos. Hence now when we submit our report, it does not reflect a comprehensive basket of interventions to the UA country.
Now I'm going to bring in Mr. Godfrey Dahl, who is representing the taxi industry. Mr. Dahl, during the Trafficking in Person seminar, which was held in October, we learned that traffickers also rely on the public transport system to recruit, move or transfer victims. Kindly share some of the taxi industry's efforts in working towards combating this.
Good morning, Pitso. Good morning, Paul. Yeah, Pitso, you know, to be very, very honest, in terms of combating the crime, few measures has been put in place, but we are still very not sure, and we still need the government to intervene so that we can put these measures thoroughly into place, such as, you know, we said that we're going to put some big screens, your awareness on the ranks. We need some flyers. We need some branding. We use us to make people aware that what is basically happening. Hence, it's school holidays. It's this festive season. Yes, these things do happen. You know, drivers sometimes get lured into such a trap as well, just because of he needs maybe money, because he needs to do the weekend groceries or whatever, the festive groceries. But yes, if we can really get more assistance from all corners, then we will be combating this crime, should I say, of trafficking. Human trafficking is really it's really in our area, it's in our ranks, and they use our drivers as well. So we really need to bring about awareness so that our drivers can also know and make more education around the ranks. Let it not be a festive thing also. Let it be an ongoing thing for everyday awareness in our ranks.
Mr. Doll, you spoke about, you know, wanting assistance. What kind of assistance? Please just, you know, break it down for us. What kind of assistance do you need in terms of spreading the message? Do you need funds for you to print posters, or do you need outreach programs at different taxi ranks?
That is what we need. Outreach programs at all, not different ranks, at all our ranks. Remember, this thing happens. It happens not only in Gauteng, it happens throughout the country. So if we can get the awareness across the country, then we'll make a breaking through stopping trafficking. Yes, we need some funds to print some flyers. Even if we can have some T-shirts for drivers written on the back that he is aware that there's trafficking, you know, little message on the back of the T-shirts, so that people can read and know about it, make it all visible in and around our ranks.
Now I'm going to go back to Pearl Moabelo. Let's look at your department, the Department of Social Development in the Gauteng province. We're now in the festive season. What measures has the department put in place to ensure that, you know, you tackle this human trafficking issue?
Thanks very much. As a department, you would note that our interventions are implemented throughout the year, 365 days, and specifically for this period of festive season where families are going to be joined together, we have really intensified our outreach programs in the communities, in the bus stations, in the malls, where we are also partnering with the likes of Mr. Doll, as well as the law enforcers when they do their festive season campaign and activations. And it does not only stop there. To say that once a person have been identified at the roadblock, then we have our social workers who are also able to now act swiftly in terms of making the assessment to determine if this person is a suspected trafficker, so that we are then able to then arrange with our shelters, and also the issue around the investigations. It's something that also comes into play, because it is not all that have been rescued might fall within the cracks of the human trafficking. But we have really intensified, and we have our plans in place. Across all the province, we are also working with the National Department of Social Development in terms of the upscaling, because you'd also know to say that Gauteng is a transit. Most of the time in Gauteng during the festive season, you will have our streets empty because people have gone back to their homes of origins. And by the time they also come back in January, we are also seeing volumes and volumes of people that flock into the province, and our system will then be implemented from now during the festive season up until mid-January. But like I'm saying, our plans cut throughout the 365 days, not necessarily only the festive season where we are seeing an upscale.
Ms. Moabalo, you spoke about shelters, accredited shelters that you work with as the department. Kindly share some of the programs that you have at those shelters. And also, if, for instance, I am watching this and I am I suffered or I was trafficked into the country, where do I go to? Where do I find these shelters?
All right. We do have accredited shelters across Gauteng. And remember that due to the nature of the type of service that we provide in these shelters, we are not really wanting to expose the location of these shelters. However, we do have a toll-free number that your viewers can then call that number so that they can automatically be linked to those shelters, or automatically they can now call the law enforcement in terms of reporting, so that they can also be linked to our social workers who would now be linking them to the shelters. Now, in terms of the programs that we do have in the shelters, first and foremost, we do what we call assessment, so that we are then able to assess in terms of the circumstances of these victims that have been rescued. Once we have assessed this person, we do sometimes have victims that are outside the borders of the country, where we are able to issue the letter of recognition. And this is the letter that really demonstrates to say that even if the passport of this individual have been confiscated by the traffickers, this person will not be subjected to the issue of deportation by the Department of Home Affairs, because they are then classified to be a victim of trafficking in person. We also are providing client-centered trauma debriefing, because you would also note to say that majority of these victims, they have been denied their freedom in terms of movement, in terms of doing their day-to-day normal activities. So that on its own have caused trauma in terms of how they are able to then go about. Above that, we also have skills development for those that will then be in a longer period within the shelters. And we also have a basket.
It looks like we are facing technical issues with our interviewees. That is Pearl Moabelo, who is representing the Gauteng Department of Social Development. Now, I'm just going to go back to Mr. Dahl. Mr. Dahl, can you hear me?
Clearly, I can hear you.
Just to, in wrapping up, I'm a driver driving from Botswana, coming to South Africa. What should I look out for in ensuring that I'm not ferrying passengers that are being trafficked into the country shortly?
Well, the driver really needs to look. If you say Botswana, let's use Botswana. There's always a passenger list. And if he picks up that there's something not right with this passenger, that is when he needs to alert the authorities. But when we come locally, it's very difficult to pick up that somebody has been trafficked or he's part of being this crime. So hence I'm.
All right, we have to leave it there. I just want to send a special thanks to my guest from the taxi industry, that is Godfrey Dahl, who was talking about, the responsibility of taxi drivers also when they find themselves in a situation wherein there are suspicions that some of the passengers they are carrying could be trafficked into the country. And we also had representing the Gauteng Department of Social Development, that is Pearl Moabelo, talking about human trafficking.